Well, hello there, and welcome to the next game in the Rewarding the Rewarders little series here. I guess I'm going to start multiple games at the same time. That way I can just bounce between them at will and kind of play whatever I want, because some of these games I actually really do want to play, so, I might as well be recording while I play them. This game was requested by Christopher Kuja Halkola, and I hadn't I had talked about Let's Playing it, but I wasn't sure if I had really wanted to, because again at the time I hadn't played the game that much. I liked what I had played, but I didn't know if I would be able to Let's Play it and make it interesting for myself. Because if I'm going to Let's Play something, that's one of the things I look for too, does it interest me? Would I watch myself play it? And I didn't really know that much about the game at the time to make that judgment call. However, I have pumped about 20 hours into it since that little teaser video I uploaded. And also, before I forget, I don't know how I could forget, I have finally built my new computer from the donations from the Rewarding the Rewarders drive, and this is the first game that's really going to test the system, and it's something that I would not have been able to record on my older system because it was just far too slow. And this thing just makes it look like a little handheld calculator, so I'm actually quite excited about this. I do have a few disclaimers about this series before I start it up. I know I've been talking for a while, but this is going to be one of the games where I'm going to be a real asshole, unfortunately, in the comments. If you, what's the best way to say it? Don't be posting spoilers for this game, and as far as I'm concerned, spoilers are future story-related events about any of the NPCs that we're going to be bumping into. Spoilers also include tips or advice on monsters, where to get good items, how to min-max my stats, how to make, basically let me make mistakes, because I'm going to make tons of mistakes. I am going to die. I doubt that there is anyone who played through this game the first time, unspoiled, without cheats or wiki or looking up YouTube strategies, and didn't die repeatedly. Death in this game is part of the experience, and that's one of the reasons that I have a lot of fun with it. It also means that I'm going to get frustrated from time to time, because, like I said, this game is very hard. So if you're one of those people who hates watching somebody fail and you just have to chime in and be Mr. Helpy Helperton, you may want to not do it on this series. Because, again, just don't spoil things with your tips and cheats as far as I'm concerned. Let's see, what else? What else can I go over in this long-winded intro here? I really think that that's about it. But yeah, I'm not very good at this game. If you want to see somebody who knows what they're doing, go watch one of the professionals do it. And let's have fun dying here. Dark Souls, Prepare to Die edition. And oh yes, we will die. I'm using the DS Fix by Durante. I also have a few mods installed. That's right, there are mods for this game. They are all texture mods, though. I don't even... I'll try to point them out as we go along, I guess. One of them is an HD font that should make everything a little bit more crisp and clear, even though I don't know how it will look after encoding it and then after uploading it to YouTube, because that degrades things too. But let's go ahead and just start a new game. I have a test character, but we're not going to play him. We want to see it from the beginning, don't we? So this is the story of... who could this be? I don't know if I really have any other names. I mean, I always use Sergey, I use Paige. Occasionally I use Hamilton Butters. This... You know what, this will just be Plump. In fact, hang on. I have another name that I like using in these games. Plump1. I am the Plump1. Anytime it's like the chosen hero of Destiny thing, gotta be the Plump1. Male, for the sex of course. There's various classes, and they all give you different weapons, give you different stats, things like that. I'm going to be recreating my experience with the game the first time, so I'm going to choose a Wanderer. But yes, these classes are not really set in stone. They pretty much just affect the beginning of the game. As you level up and begin to take control of your character's destiny, you can make whatever type of character you want. But I'm going to be a Wanderer. Let's see, it's an aimless Wanderer. He wields a scimitar, high dexterity. So yes, this character class will be focused around dexterity, and I don't really know what other stats. Again, I haven't looked up any character builds for this game. I have not become an expert at perfecting and min-maxing my character yet. So I'm gonna probably make a gimped character, and it will be a test to see whether or not I can overcome the limitations that I've set for myself by not understanding the game as well as some other people do. As for the gift, this is just an item that you can start off with. Let's see, God's Blessing. These are not permanent weapons, you only have like one or two of them. Twin Humanities, that would be kind of interesting. Binoculars, no. No effect, but fond memories comfort travelers. This is a very useful item. If I was not recreating my first little run through the game, I would choose this item. But it just speeds a few things up. Tiny Beans Ring. This just gives you a small hit point boost. It says that it has hit point recovery, but that's a typo. It does not have regeneration. If it did, it would be the most powerful item in this list. And an Old Witch's Ring. I think that I am going to... I'm just going to take an Old Witch's Ring. Why not? Actually, yeah, I'll take the Old Witch's Ring. It does absolutely nothing, but I'm going to take it anyways, because why not? Let's see, we're just going to be average. And as for the face, this, I believe, is one of the mods I'm using. It adds beards to the characters, which is nice, because before this, none of the characters had beards. And of course, the beard makes the man. We're going to be a Delta farmer. There we go. As for the hair, doesn't really matter too much, I guess. Swept back, receding, shaved. How about wild hair? Wild stallions rule. And we'll do dark brown hair, why not? So there we are, this is our character. And let's just accept it. Yep. By the way, I can't adjust the audio.
Ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity, heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark.
Oh yeah.
Then from the dark they came, and
They were
found
hungry.
the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. the Witch of Izalith, and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty gods peeled apart their stone skills. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more.
Awesome.
Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign.
Hopefully we don't have the dark sign. Oh, so yeah, that's the story kind of so far, I guess. To be honest, it just left me with more questions. It was neat and awesome.
Yes, indeed.
I know, I agree.
The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world.
How many undead are there? How big are these prisons? These are just questions that I have.
This is your fate.
Is it one cell per undead? Do we ever shack up? There's plenty of rats, or are those beetles the size of a child's fist? Who are you? He's got some fancy looking armor. And no, this is not lunch, or breakfast, or dinner. It is a dungeon cell key. Awesome. So this is us, the Wanderer. We start out in prison here. And unfortunately for us, we can't fly, so there's no getting out that way. And if we could fly, we wouldn't still be in here. There are basic attacks and everything. I'm not going to explain them. Let's just go. We use the dungeon cell key. These little glowing things are messages. For the first part of the game, these messages will only be left by the developers. Little tips, you know, like how to use your camera and how to attack. Later in the game, these will be left by other players. This game has a very deeply interwoven multiplayer facet that ties pretty much the entire game together through PvP and summoning each other to help out with bosses. I do have a little bit of a disclaimer. This LP of mine might not be 100% accurate for the game because I do not I have never been invaded. I have never seen a summoning symbol. Because of the way my network is set up, I believe, not able to actually partake in that. I can see messages and I can see other people's deaths, but I've never had anybody join me. And yeah, you can see a big nasty monster in there. We don't have to worry about him. Hello, you. We can lock on. And whenever I first started playing, I really hated locking on to monsters, but it does make things a lot easier. Yeah, there are different attacks. You have a stamina bar up in the top left that runs out. If it runs out completely, you can no longer attack, you can no longer run, you can no longer block. All the good things. Target lock. And for now, these guys are completely helpless against us. Don't worry, that will not last very long. Have I already mentioned that this game is difficult? I don't know how quick I'll die, but it'll be quick. These little bonfires are kind of where they're checkpoints. If you rest at a bonfire, that's the next place you'll return when you die. Later on, you can also level up at the bonfires. You can turn human at the bonfires. There's a lot of different things you can do. We want to go through here, though. Oh, yes. What's that up there? I swear I see something. It's like a giant maggot with a mace. Anyways, this is the first boss you fight. Get away. Now, if you're like, the first time you play the game, you're going to fight this guy. You're going to do your best to try to kill him. It's not going to work. But if you run, well, you might be able to kill him if you're good enough. But if you go through that door, you can escape him. I tried like 2 times the first time I played through the game to kill him. And then I realized, oh, that's impossible. Yeah, that says to get my shield. That's because that jerk up there is shooting arrows at me. So let's just equip our shield. Stats looking at them don't matter, but I can now block. And blocking is vital. Blocking, dodging, parrying, repositing, or whatever. You have to learn those things. And the first weapon that I get as a wanderer, a scimitar. A pretty good weapon, honestly. Of course, there are weapons out there that are much, much better, but it's quick, and it just cuts through things. That number in the bottom right that says 80, that's the number of souls that I've got, aka the experience. You use experience to level up your stats. Let's see, backstep. It tells you to backstep because right here, if you don't backstep or sidestep, you'll get hit by a trap. This ball comes down, crashes into the wall, and there we go. Now I must warn you, if it looks like I know what I'm doing, it's because I've been through this part numerous times. It's not going to take me long to get to an area that I am not very good at.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness.
I don't know.
I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity.
What?
I wish to ask something of you. You and I are both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Okay. But see, this is one thing I don't get, and maybe somebody in the comments can explain this to me, even though I'm opening a Pandora's box for spoilers here. But he says we're both undead. So, how can he die? Because every time I die, I go back to a bonfire. So, I'll hear him out.
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit.
Maybe.
There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the undead asylum, maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. and I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
Yum.
Oh, and this.
Okay. Oh, cool. He
Now
had the
I
key.
must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Well, rest in peace, brother. Can I... Here, we'll bow to him. I'll leave you to your grisly task. So yes, he dies, and, we... Did you hear that stabbing sound? Pretty sure that he was finishing himself off. He gives us the key to this door. What do we got? Oh yeah, you can press Y to dual-wield weapons. Can be kind of useful. I found use for it on some bosses where shields were completely pointless. Let's see, resting at bonfires. Yes, that is another very important part of the game that is interesting, I guess. Anytime you rest at a bonfire, all of the enemies will respawn, which means you have to get good at the game, because you cannot progress through an area by a war of attrition, meaning you just throw yourself against the monsters, because as soon as you go rest, they're all back. So you pretty much have to learn how to get through areas without taking a single hit, becoming a complete ninja master in the process, and learning how to exploit everything that the game gives you. Because it doesn't give you much, but it does give you enough. There we go. Like, you don't know how many times this guy killed me the first time I played the game. 5, 6 maybe? It was awful. Yeah, you can parry and reposit. Parrying and reposit is probably an extremely useful ability to have. However, I don't use it very often because I'm not very good at it. Your timing has to be perfect. Yeehaw. Jump down and ride this bad boy. Now, if you get in the right spot on these bosses... Okay, up he goes. Yeah. See, you also have to learn their attacks, and they all have their own patterns and everything. Oh, joy, I did not see that coming. Come on, just one more in the rear. 2 more then. Rest in peace. This guy gave me a ton of problems. Big Pilgrim's Key. Victory achieved. Humanity is used to turn you human. Whenever you turn human, that is when you can be invaded. So for those of you saying in your head earlier that maybe I have never been invaded because I don't go human, well, that's not true. Because I do go human. Good job, go straight ahead. Okay, before we go straight ahead though, I'm gonna go check this thing out. I stumbled across this while just goofing off, and I'm sure that there's probably a secret to it, so try not to spoil it for me in the comments.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
So, these eggs talk and say that to you. I don't know exactly what they're asking for, but it probably means you have to come back later on and give them something warm and soft, which I have no idea what it could possibly be. A blanket? A new mother? I don't know where their mom is.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen.
Maybe that's their mother.
To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
That is mighty lordy. So are we that undead? Will we be the chosen one, the plumpin' one? Yeehaw. Thanks for the ride. How do I pay you?